So we found out our baby's gender, and let me tell you, it was a wild ride. And I want to start from the only place that makes sense, the beginning. So my husband actually knew that I was pregnant before I did, which was ironic. There had been so many times in the past where I was maybe 1 or 2 days late, or my breasts were extra sore before my period, like unusually sore. And I was sure that I was pregnant. So we weren't trying, but every time that this would happen, I would start to get like a little bit excited. And I would tell him like, hey, I think I should take a test. I'm late, or this or that. Think that I might be pregnant. And every time he was like, you're not, but go ahead and take a test. And every time he was right. So when we found out, we had been trying for a baby for 2 months actively. The first month was negative. The second month, I took a test right before we went to go eat sushi, and again, it was negative. And then we moved. I was under a lot of stress from the move mostly, and after we got settled in, my period was like 1 to 2 days late. But I didn't think anything of it because stress can delay periods, and it has for me in the past. Plus, I had already tested and it was already negative. I actually made a full video on the story of how we found out that we were pregnant. I'll link it in the cards and in the description below, so check that out next if you're interested. But basically that day, my husband burst into the room and he was like, you're pregnant. I know it. Go take a test. You're giving me my air. He was very confident. I was like, I've already tested. I'm not pregnant, but I will take another one if you really want me to. And he was like, do it. So I took the test and it actually came out positive. And immediately he was just as confident that it was a boy. But I wasn't so sure. I've always kind of pictured myself as a girl mom, at least with the first one. There's a part of me that's always been really excited for a boy too, especially because my husband was like the cutest baby you've ever seen, and it makes me want a little boy. But when I think about like walking through the mall holding a baby's hand, I picture a girl. I think it has something to do with the fact that I'm really close with 2 of my baby nieces, and when I've spent time one-on-one with them, I could just picture myself like having a little girl of my own. And when I watch them, there's just been times when I've thought like, this is what it would feel like to be a mom. Also, I just feel like it would be so special. You know, you get the matching outfits. Girls typically tend to be milder in temperament, less energetic, aka more cuddly. And I'm kind of a girly girl, so I just thought like, you know, we could do girly girl things together. It just sounded like really nice. And so this was like the image that I kind of had in my head. But my husband and also his sister, who we're really close with, were convinced it was a boy, like so confident. And over time, their confidence started to convince me as well. Before I knew it, the images of being a girl mom started to lessen, and I started, I don't know, looking at my husband's baby pictures and just like imagining that that's what our son would look like. And I kind of went back and forth between hoping for a boy and hoping for a girl. But the thing that really got in my head was the fact that he knew that I was pregnant before I knew. So I felt like he was probably right about this as well. It was confusing to say the least, but then it got more confusing. Okay, so we all know about mother's intuition, and we've all heard about mothers having dreams about their baby's gender and them being right? Well, early in my pregnancy, I had a dream that we had a boy, but I don't remember this dream at all. I just vaguely remember that the dream did happen. And then later, around 10 weeks of pregnancy, I had another dream. In that dream, I gave birth to a 10-week-old baby, which would not be good. But in the dream, the baby came out full term, even though they had only been cooking for 10 weeks. The baby was fully clothed, and it was a girl. It didn't make a lot of sense, but dreams rarely do. However, this dream was very clear, and I still remember it, unlike the boy one. Funny enough, my husband also had a dream before we even met, let alone started dating, let alone got married, let alone started trying for a baby, that he had a daughter named Ava. So that was interesting too. And then the final clue to all of this was our last ultrasound. So by this point, we had already done blood work to find out the gender of our baby, but we got an ultrasound at maybe 13 weeks. And in the ultrasound, you can see, like, in some of the pictures, something sticking up in between the legs. So it turns out that there's this theory called the nub theory. And basically it's a pretty accurate way to guess the baby's gender based on the angle that the nub is at. If it's more like straight down, then it would be a girl. If it's at a 30-degree angle or more, then it would be a boy. And so based on our ultrasound, once I found out about the nub theory, I was like, Ryan, look at this. It's more than 30 degrees. It's a boy. And I was so confident at this point that I went ahead and I ordered It's a Boy gender reveal stuff from Amazon that day. So not 2 hours later, I checked my medical app and I had gotten the results in for the baby's gender. So I went to get my husband to confirm what we already knew. We were like, okay, it's a boy, like let's look at this. We had wanted to have a gender reveal, but with the holidays it was just like too much. So we decided to find out ourselves and then tell our families on Christmas. Plus I felt like, why have a gender reveal? Like, we already know it's a boy. It's not gonna be any fun because we already know. I mean, it will be fun, but like, it's not a surprise, you know? So we open up the document, we're like looking through it. We don't see anything. We're like, what the heck, you know? So we have to like look through it again, slowly, more carefully. And we read like no sex chromosome detected, but it was talking about like the extra sex chromosome, like when a baby can have 3 instead of 2. But at first I was freaking out. I was like, there's no sex chromosomes? That doesn't seem right. But then we kept reading, and underneath it said no Y chromosome was detected, which suggests a female. And we just looked at each other. And my husband was like, you know, these things aren't always accurate. It's probably wrong. And I was like, you're right. Yeah, it's probably wrong. And then I was like, these things are usually pretty accurate. And we looked at each other again. And it sunk in that we were having a girl. And I started crying. Happy tears. Happy tears. Again, I would have been so happy with either one. You know, a baby boy would have been wonderful. A baby girl is so wonderful. It was just such a nice surprise. Like, I'm so happy. It kind of felt like a dream come true. I think it's typical for a lot of parents to feel more comfortable with what they know. For example, like I said, I'm a girly girl, so I could just really see myself having so much fun with a daughter. And my husband is really athletic. He's strong, masculine. And so I think he pictured himself having a boy and being able to raise that boy well. I also think for a lot of dads, there's a fear of like protecting her, especially as girls grow up. Like, one of the first things he said was, I'm going to be so stressed out in 16 years. And I think he just felt like he wouldn't know how to raise a girl as well as he knows how to raise a boy. But he has no idea. This baby girl, she's the luckiest baby alive because he's gonna be an amazing dad. She's so lucky. I can't wait till she's born. Like, I swear, she's gonna wrap him around her finger. He's going to be so in love. And I think all his fears will go away. We're so excited. Alright, well, before I get emotional, make sure to check out my video on all the things that got me through my first trimester morning sickness right here next. Believe me when I tell you, I tried everything. And if you are going through it right now, hopefully some of the things that worked for me can work for you too. Hit that subscribe button for more content around simpler living, biblical femininity, and the art of homemaking. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in my next one.